I gotta show you the most interesting interface this game has. I need this woman here to interact with these crates. So she needs to go through this hole. How do I do that? I right click on her, I use hand. So I use the girl on the hole. Use girl on hole. In other words, pick her up and use her like a tool on the hole. And what happens when I do this?
Hey.
What?
Go through that hole and search those boxes for me.
You just commands her to go through that hole. So I'm kind of using her, just not in
I've
the
got boxes
conventional way
labeled PQ1,
that we understand
SQ2.
Okay, here we are. I have finally gotten this girl to go through this hole. Now look what's happening.
LSL-5.
It's full of... I'd rather not say. Are you sure this is what you wanted?
That's probably not it. Can you try again?
She's looking through these boxes because I need something from these boxes. This whole thing, obstruction in between me and her, it's debris. And the only reason why it's there is because the designers of this game wanted me to first solve a puzzle or just do something before they allowed me access to these boxes. And what that was I needed to find someone small. And that required that I first talk to this lady, find out that she's looking for a card, find the card, bring it back to her, and then bring her back here. That entire turn of events is what I needed to do to gain access to these boxes. Now, right now, is that important to the storyline? Is that important to the storyline? Did that help further deepen the storyline? So far, not yet. Nothing. Now, this girl might turn out to be someone very important, or she might not. If she does not, then that was a complete waste of time, and the designer should have never had me do it. If they wanted to have a puzzle, like a little a wall here, in the form of this debris, but really actually is a puzzle sequence, then it should have been like a really fun puzzle, or it should have been something that furthers the storyline. I don't know at this point. I'm hoping that the storyline is now deepened and more intricate because of this, but if it isn't, I will be kind of disappointed because this is all about storyline. This entire game is about storyline. That's what makes this game good or not. Period. And so, I'm hoping this wasn't just, it only took 3 minutes, but I'm hoping it wasn't 3 minutes taking from me, and it was 3 minutes that I invested in this game. We'll see. We'll see. Okay. There is the item inventory system in this game is really primitive. In most polished adventure games, there's a button that you can push to bring up the inventory. Just bring it up. And then from there, there's a system that allows you to combine items, etc. You can examine them, you have all these options. In this game, the only way to bring up the item inventory is to first interact with something on the screen. You have to interact with something like here. Like, I can't bring it up right here. Nothing I do will bring it up. Nothing. I have to first interact with something. So this outside section, or crate section, or hole section. Some type of code that communicates to the game that there's something here. Then I right click, and then it brings up the items. Now, if I wanted one of these items to interact with this thing here, then I left click on one of the items, and he will say, oh, that would, or he'll say something like, okay, I'll do it over here.
That won't help me get those boxes.
That won't help me get those boxes.
There's no way I could open them from out here.
Let me use this carbon ray stabilizer.
That won't help me. There's no way.
But what I want to do is I need to use this carbon ray stabilizer to fix these lockpicks. The only way to do that is first interact with something here, and then you right click on the carbon ray stabilizer. There is no system to allow you to combine the carbon ray stabilizer with the lockpicks to then fix the lockpicks. So you right click instead of left click, and then this does this.
Got it. The lockpicks are fixed now.
So the game automatically knows what you're going to use those lockpicks with. So this means that there's going to be no puzzles in this game that require you to somehow mix and match items in your inventory correctly. There's this game called Monkey Island, and in that game you have to constantly be mixing and matching inventories, items in your inventory, to ensure that they are to create new items, and those are key parts of the puzzle. This game will never have one of those because you can't do it. It does not allow it to happen. The interface will not allow it. That is fascinating to me. I don't see it as a design flaw. I see it as a different way of doing it, which is I think it's cool. It's primitive because it's not as intuitive. Like when you want to access the menu, your intuition would be like press the I button. But no, in this game you have to first do that. So anyways. Okay. Now check this out. You just barely saw me have a dialogue with this lady, right? And in that dialogue, I needed to use her help, and in that dialogue I found out that I needed to find a card for her. Well, I just reloaded it, and now, before I even have that dialogue, I'm just going to give her the card that I already know that she's looking for. Before I even find out that she's looking for this card. So right now, according to the transpiring of the events of this game, I should not know that this security card is hers because she hasn't told me about it yet. So I'm going to give it to her as if I knew and see if the game anticipates this. See if the game designers anticipate this and give me a dialogue that would fit this unique circumstance. So it should be something like, "Hey, how did you know I wanted this card?" And then he would have to give an explanation that could logically explain why he knows she needs this card. Let's see what happens.
Excuse me, is this what you were looking for?
How did you find this?
It was in a gutter, almost went down the storm drain.
Thanks. I owe you one.
Nope. That was the exact same conversation that you would have had if you had first talked to her, found out that she was looking for that card, find it, and then give it to her. Exact same conversation. Zero anticipation of this thing. Now this is what I consider a design bug, not a development bug. Development bugs are with the actual program. You go to a certain region in the game and it freezes on you. You just some mechanical error causes the game to crash. That's a bug. This is a design bug. The game still goes on perfectly fine, but in my mind is crashing right now. Because I'm like, hey, why? That doesn't match. So my mind is crashing. My mind is once again realizing I'm playing a game. I'm not in this world because that would never happen in this world. So it causes a mind crash. Not a game crash, but a mind crash. Okay, I figured out something interesting. This game allows you, when you push escape while you're walking, it allows you to shortcut the walk. So for example, I push here. I shortcut it, right? But if I double click on this to use the function where I can repeat the last previous action that I did, I can't skip the walk. Pressing escape, I walk the whole way. So a strategy to improve speed in this is to not use that function against something that you're far away from. To first click on it once, escape over there, then click on it twice. That'd be quicker.
I don't need to and can't reach it.
Whoa, chill, Azrael. Jeez, didn't know you were so anti-hanging from chandeliers. Let's try kicking it.
I don't need to do that.
Oh, so apparently kicking a chandelier is a lot less emotionally difficult, like taxing on you than hanging from one. Man, you acted like hanging from it was like someone hanging. Ooh. Okay. I just had a conversation with the head of this Boryokudan group, some gang group here. Once again, they didn't recognize my face. Still doesn't make sense. If a first name Azrael Odin, who that's who I am, is so wanted by this group, why don't they know my face? Now I'm starting to think this is too blatant of a thing. I'm starting to think, oh, maybe I got my face changed. Maybe I got some surgery done that this story has not communicated to me. The other thing that the story has communicated to me is the connection between this person and this person. That connection being, I first was thinking classic derp. These people are the same person. Different names, same person. You know, it's just the way they always do it. They always start like with he's old, then let's show him young, and then da da da. But now I'm starting to think, oh, they're different people, and this is someone that's being he was a criminal, or he's someone that's being trained to work for the Boryokudan, because he lives in a prison that is where so I'm on a mission right now to go to this nebula in space, because I heard my son went there. I also know there's a prison there, and I just found out that that prison is where people are being trained to do certain things, and I already know that's what's happening to this guy. And those people are then being trained. The people that are trained here go work for the gang Boryokudan, and I just really found that out. So now I think the link is he's a guy that's being trained right now, and this guy is someone trying to get to that location where this guy is being trained, because he thinks his son is here. Wait, is this guy the son? This guy's going here to look for his son. I'm controlling this guy. This guy's probably this guy's son. Ha! I just solved the climax. I guarantee you that was the climax of this story. The point where you're like, oh my god, I didn't see that coming, and I just barely solved it. Yeah.